Uh, Corey, how do you feel like where you stand as far as being prepared for any kind of a regular season?
I kind of feel like I'm kind of maybe the midpoint of spring training. Actually, I know this is just the start of whatever you want to call it. Our second go around, but I think that through the break and having so much time, I was able to get myself built up and I feel like I was able to not only get built up but work on stuff. Kind of get to the point where I felt like I was executing pitches, and I think I kind of got to the point where I'm coming in hitting the ground running.
What was the shutdown like for you as far as getting you working?
I think I probably anticipated it maybe being a little more challenging than it was. I think that once I got going, I realized that I could, as long as I was going to be flexible in how I was going to do stuff, I could still find a way to get everything done, whether it be working out or throwing into a backstop for a while, things like that. But still getting the reps in. It might have been a little different than normally what we're accustomed to, but I think it's just it's kind of the new norm. You got to be a little more flexible than you're used to.
Evan Grant.
Great. What were the? Can you tell me your version of how you got involved in the Cressy games down in Florida, and what was that like?
Yeah, we had been in Massachusetts for a while at that point. It was still bad weather. I think the day that we flew down to Florida, it actually snowed on like May 9th or something like that. But yeah, I think just for our family, we needed a little bit of a change of scenery, and luckily we have a place down there that we were able to go to, and I think that just going to the facility to work out, I never went inside. I did all my throwing and stuff outside, my running and stuff outside, and I just kind of stuck with my routine at the house that I was doing as far as working out. But I think it was one of those things where the timing when I was down there is when they were getting started with doing the live BPs and things like that, and so it worked out well that I was kind of able to advance from throwing into a backstop at that point to actually throwing bullpens to a catcher, getting hitters in the box and stuff. And so I think that it probably couldn't have worked out any better for me personally, timing wise.
That was a pretty stout group of guys, pitchers and hitters. What was that whole experience like down there?
I think that's kind of the norm for what they have going on down there. I think they have such a good thing going with the location, with the new facility and stuff. I mean, no matter when you go in there, you're going to be around those types of names. It's just one of those things where it's just so happened to everybody was in the same boat trying to get reps in, get working, and it turned into I guess I didn't realize it was a secret at the time, but I guess a secret, sort of deal.
Questions? Raise your hand, please. Chris?
Hey, Corey, just curious about your mentality going into this 60-game season, how you're going to go from start to start. Is your mindset changing at all? About pacing yourself? How are you going into it now?
Personally, I don't feel like my mindset changes much. I think that I've always kind of approached it as each game is its own game, not trying to, a game in April put it any less importance than a game in September. I think they all count the same. I mean, obviously there's more of an emphasis on every game now because there's only 60 instead of 162, but I think once the game starts, once you're in between the lines, I think that it's still, it's 27 outs, it's all that kind of stuff. So there's things that are different throughout the course of the season, but the game itself is the same. So I think I'll still view it, me doing my job as I always have.
How much do you feed off of a crowd, and how are you anticipating pitching games without fans?
I think that there's definitely instances where you can feed off a crowd. I don't know that I feel like I need a crowd to get my adrenaline going, to get amped up. I think that the competition against the other hitters, the other team, that's kind of the stuff that provides me that. So I think that it'll be different for sure at the beginning, but I'd imagine that it'll be something that we get used to pretty quickly.
Other questions? Levi.
Hey, Corey. When the Rangers signed you, we heard, I think it was John Daniels mention that actually the time that you had off with the injury was probably really beneficial to your arm to kind of give you a little bit of a break. And given all the innings that you had pitched in the years leading up, do you feel like this extra break has been like an added bonus? Like, are you sick of having time off? Are you ready to get going?
Definitely sick of it. I mean, it's been, looking at the calendar, it's been almost close to a year and a half since I've, pitched in an actual major league game that meant something. So it's been far too long. I don't know if I'd view it as an extra bonus or just, I think that's kind of the way I look at it is the circumstances are what they are. I tried to be as flexible as I could to put myself in the best position that I could to where now that we're starting, I'm ready to go. I'm not having to try to play catch up or anything like that.
Jeff.
Hey, Corey, I don't know if you zeroed in, didn't notice, but there are 4 guys in face masks standing behind you pitching, and there are people in face masks all over the place. What do you just think about baseball in this environment?
I think that's what we need to do to make sure everybody stays healthy. I think, you look in the dugout and guys come off the field, they put a face mask on, they pull the thing up over their face, whatever they got. I think it's just everybody being aware of what the situation is and trying to be cognizant of not only your own safety but the safety of others and others' families and all that kind of stuff. So, it's different, but I think I guess my answer is a little bit the same as not having fans. I think it's something that we'll eventually get used to and probably not even think twice about.
And then, what did you think of how Mike looked?
I couldn't really see Mike, honestly. When I was sitting in the dugout, the benches were blocking me, so I was trying to watch, peeking under and stuff, but I honestly couldn't see too much, so I can't answer that. Sorry.
And then you said you're midway through spring training for him. So, what's the missing piece?
I think that I guess when I say that, I mean that I think my body's in a good spot. I'm going through the progression of getting built up, whether it be pitch wise, innings wise, and I think once that physical part, you start getting that down, then it just becomes a matter of fine tuning pitches and executing, more pitches than the last time out, and I think that's kind of the way that I look at getting ready for it, where I judge myself.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Steven.
Hey, Corey, you were talking a minute ago about obviously a different environment. I mean, you guys have a teammate that tested positive, and I think Freddie Freeman's tested positive. We've seen numbers. How much does that kind of hit home, though, when you start seeing guys testing positive, whether it's a few or a lot? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I think that everybody is obviously at this point aware of what's going on, but I think that when it's whether it's a teammate or somebody if that news comes about, I think it just makes it that much more real. I think that, like I said earlier, everybody's cognizant of the situation and the things that we need to do to try to keep ourselves and each other healthy. But, not that anybody, I don't think needs a reminder at this point in time, but I think it's just, you, like I said, somebody somebody that's a teammate, has it just that much more meaningful, I guess.
How is it balancing that line of the anxiety of maybe what's going on, but then the anticipation of wanting to play and wanting to pitch for everybody? I mean, it's a fine line for everyone, isn't it?
No doubt. I mean, I think everybody's got to make their own personal decision. What they feel is best for them, what's best for their family. I don't think it's one of those things where you can hold it against somebody if they decide that they don't feel like the risk is worth it to them at this point in time. But I guess the way that I look at it is that our whole lives have been told you got to make sacrifices if you want to be a professional athlete. You got to sacrifice certain things, and it's different things we have to sacrifice. But for these 3-4 months, whatever it is, the situation is what it is, and we got to sacrifice some things that we're used to in order to make it work.